Hello and welcome to the Milk Round episode 10, and to celebrate our double digits of episode 10, Lee decided to go away on holiday. So we've got a special new face with us this week. It's a long-term friend and board member of the Youth Complex and all around good egg, Mr. Darren Stewart. How are you doing, Darren?
I'm really good, yep.
Yeah, so what's been happening in Darren land recently?
Not much really. Like obviously we've had the lockdown from March, and because of lockdown, I had to go into the shielding category. So for the kind of first 12 weeks, I was kind of stuck in the house completely, not able to get out. So that was a bit of a nightmare. But as the kind of weeks are going on, we're releasing a wee bit. So. Getting out some walks, do some boxing with the boys, and just kind of general being a parent.
Good stuff. I mean, I can probably relate to that in a second because I kind of made that decision myself just to put myself in that bracket and category because just various reasons really, but I won't go into because it'd be a bit boring. But yeah, I can understand you do get cabin fever after a while, and things are starting to open up now. So. No, but that's good. So I think last week's podcast, I don't know if you got a chance to catch it, was on social media. So I think it might be nice to mention our social medias, and this is my normal job, so I'm quite comfortable doing this. So on Facebook, we're Kelly Youth Complex Staff. On Twitter, we're Youth Complex CYC. Instagram, Youth_Complex. TikTok, Kelly Youth Complex. You can email us at cycyouth@gmail.com. And we've also got early versions, audio-only versions of our podcast on themilkround.podbean.com. So, yeah, last week's podcast was about social media. We covered a lot of ground last week on that. I don't know if you got a chance to catch last week's episode, Dan.
I've not had a chance to watch that one as of yet. This week's been a wee bit hectic with one thing or the other, but it's something that I'll definitely get onto and have a listen. Support the channel.
I promise. Yeah.
I have liked it on YouTube, and I've rung the wee bell. So
wonderful.
Make sure you get that done too.
And that's it, yeah, because I didn't mention that in the social media round because that's normally Lee's job. So I'm a wee bit like the fish out of water here. I'm trying to be Lee this week. So we hope that he hasn't went too far afield and he will be back next week. But who knows?
It's a wee bit of a nightmare for people who's went on holiday just now, innit? Like so many people who have went and maybe away and not knowing that they'll need to come back and quarantine, and then they didn't at the start of the holiday and now they do. So
it's all a bit up in the air. I think they were mental to go in the first place, personally. My opinion, yet again, but that's so. Yeah, we covered a lot of ground in social media, and I noticed one thing. So my 4-year-old son Jack, right? So he, full disclosure, he's got a bit of speech delay, right? So, but Jack has still mentioned to his older sister Katrina in the car, "Oh, Katrina, stop TikToks." So Katrina's been sitting in the back of the car doing this, to no music or anything like that. And Jack, my 4-year-old son, doesn't know as many words as other 4-year-olds, but he does know the word TikTok. And he knows what it is.
It's insane, like the social media and just things that I think how crazy how they take off. And my boy's the same, Jay, he's like 14. And like just literally 2 minutes ago, he was at the kitchen door just doing all these TikTok dance, no music on, or he'll do it to every song. And even my youngest, he's 6 and he knows about it. And it's like, it's just insane how kind of quick something like that picks up. And it's like a hobby. And then people want to be a profession. People want to be TikTok famous. And so, I mean, when we were younger, you wanted to be an engineer or you wanted to be a plumber, and like people now, they want to be YouTube famous, they want to be TikTok famous.
When we were younger, we wanted to be like astronauts or football players and stuff like that.
Soldiers.
Now they want to be YouTube stars or TikTok stars. So that's just, I think that's how things work. Move on, I suppose. And last week also we had a very controversial quiz again. It's becoming the most controversial section of our podcast. We had our first F-bomb, Darren. that I had to bleep it out. I had to
No
actually
way.
bleep it out. Yes.
Is that the first time you've had to use the bleep button?
It is. It is. Yes.
That's not bad for episode 10.
So that was episode 9 yet. So I think we're doing quite well. But there was also another controversy, Darren. You didn't watch it last week.
No, I didn't. Yeah.
Yet more cheating from Kirsty Chapman. Again, more
Seriously,
cheating.
Kirsty.
So she was on a few episodes. I can't remember the last. I think she was on episode 5 or 6. And she was asked. Lee was the quiz master, and she was asked a question, and you could literally see the reflection of the glow of her phone in her glasses. And we were like, "You're cheating! You're cheating!" So we didn't think that lightning could strike twice.
And it has.
It did, yes. And some cheating. It was basically, the quiz was on social media, because that's what we're talking about. So Lee had prepared a quiz and asked Kirsty a question. I think it was something like, what year was Facebook? Did Facebook start? All of a sudden, Kirsty's like this. It's this year. And
So
we're like,
I think Facebook, you're probably talking about 16, 17 years ago, I'm sure, Facebook.
I think it was something like 2004, 2005 was roughly the year. But the bold Chapman had was brazen. Oh, there you go. And we're like, that's kind of cheating. She's like, oh no, but I knew the answer. I did the research. I said, no, you didn't know the answer. That's not how it works.
She was doing the research while on.
So anyway, much controversy from last week. So yeah, we're hoping that this week's quiz is probably going to be a slightly different format, and that there isn't any swearing or any controversy. But who knows?
I promise not to swear or cheat.
So you can make that promise, but sometimes it doesn't go quite according to plan. So
when the pressure gets to you.
So anyway, how's your week been? Anyway, what have you been up to?
This week, school uniform. Really, try to kind of pick up books, because obviously my two boys are sprouting, like Jay and Josh. I think both of them have been living in a greenhouse, so I was trying to kind of hold off as long as I can to get their uniform. But you're talking now about under 2 weeks till they go back to school, so scary and exciting at the same time.
Yeah.
So most of this week I have been picking up the boys' uniforms, but it's like not just one shop now. You're having to go to like 25 different shops instead of just Marks and Spencer's to get the uniform. You're here, there, and everywhere now. So
good. Well, myself this week. Myself and Lee in previous episodes have discussed more so my descent into middle-aged mediocrity, but also Lee's kind of joined in because he started doing golfing. But mine's was a few weeks ago, and I kind of avoided it narrowly. I bought a pressure washer.
Oh, I think I watched that episode.
I bought a pressure washer, and then I just had this horrible like feeling of, oh my God, what has my life come to? And I returned the pressure washer. So
see, when I watched that episode and I'd seen you returned it, and I was a bit like, oh my God, I love my pressure washer. So I've got at my back, I've got it's half patio and half artificial grass, and then I've got monoblocking at the front. So like I've got a few big trees and so we pine leaves everywhere all over my back, and the pressure washer is absolutely fantastic for getting all that away, especially on the grass. And then I do my in front, the pressure washer, on my monoblocking. So like when you're like, I've got my pressure washer, yes, we're guys with a pressure washer. And then you said you returned it.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, seriously?
I thought better of myself, and now you just saying that, I've just realised that, you know, in terms of middle-aged mediocrity, you're maybe a few levels ahead of me, don't you?
No, definitely. No, I'm a few levels. Just I'm middle-aged. Yeah, I'm too young for that.
Oh, but you've got a pressure washer. You're way ahead of me.
I know, but the pressure washer is a useful tool. You just didn't give it a chance.
I thought that too, and then I thought better of myself, and I says, no, not today, Siren. I'm not doing it. But anyway, my descent has further started. I bought a massive new TV, so it's huge. It's going to be on my wall, I believe. So yeah,
right.
I think that's me.
Are you going to put that up?
Yeah, I'm going to put that up there.
Right. See, I had to get a new telly as well. In my bed. We'll get. You there?
We're losing you. We're losing you here.
Oh no.
Okay. Yep.
Back.
You're back again, right? We'll keep going. We'll keep soldiering on. There we go.
Soldier on. Come up, my internet connection was stable, and I even sent a boost to my laptop. Anyway, I was saying, new TV. So the two HDMI ports broke in my TV, so I ordered a new one as well. So it wasn't a big massive one for the wall, it was just on the bottom of my bed.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, so another thing that I'm finding out, so it's been since February. So I've had this since February, and I'm actually growing quite attached to it. I literally am attached to it because it's my hair, but I'm going to be getting a haircut next week. I'm getting a haircut since first time since February. I'm going to be getting a haircut, so I am both excited and kind of scared at the same time.
Are you keeping the beard again? Or is that gone as well?
The beard was a kind of experiment just during lockdown. So I thought that would get us some good social media impressions. So that was why I shaved off the beard. So we got hundreds of votes on Facebook for that one. So if somebody wants me to ritually humiliate myself online, then feel free to send us a few suggestions and I will consider it, basically. So
maybe we should put a wee poll on the YouTube if they feel a pressure washer is midlife or not.
possibly. So moving on to our next section. It's one of our most popular sections, Darren. It is the famous "What's on my telly and what's in my belly." So,
right.
So it's basically we talk about something we've maybe eaten that we've particularly enjoyed, and something that we've watched. Because let's face it, we ain't doing much else with the way the current situation is. So, would you like to go first, or
cool.
So what's on your telly, Darren?
So what my telly just now, so a kind of episode that I've been watching over the last couple of weeks, and it's something on Netflix, and it's the world's most dangerous prisons, and it's a British journalist, Raphael Rowan. I think he was wrongly convicted of murder, and he got life without parole, and he spent 12 years, and then he basically got found that he wasn't guilty and get out. So now he travels around kind of all the world to all these kind of dangerous prisons and spends a week in all these prisons, and kind of he's a prisoner for a week in these crazy prisons, and it's something I've been watching over the last, and it's quite interesting to see how different countries approach the justice system, and you can see a lot of the countries who put a lot of money into the justice system, and a lot of countries who just have no money for the justice system, for the jails and stuff. So that's been quite interesting. I've been watching that over the last couple of weeks.
And that's on Netflix, Darren?
That's on Netflix, yeah.
And would that be okay for, say, some of our kind of mid-teenagers to watch? Or
I think sometimes the language can be the odd swearing, and obviously there's the speak about violence, but I don't think it's kind of, you don't see a lot of violence, or you don't see kind of blood, gore. So definitely something that kind of older teenagers, I can't actually remember what age it says on it, to be honest, but it is something that is worthwhile.
Well, we've been hovering around the kind of 12 to 15 category, so I think we're quite safe in recommending that one. This week, my recommendation and what's on my telly, it's
your
just
massive telly.
My massive telly, yeah. Well, it's not arrived yet, but yeah, soon to be massive telly, is Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's on Amazon. It's a long-standing show. There's 6 seasons currently on Amazon, and there's a 7th season that's currently being broadcast in America, and it'll probably be out on Amazon sometime next year. It follows, the main character is Agent Coulson, who was on the first Avengers film, and there's usually, each season's got a kind of different theme to it, or a different setting or something to it, so it kind of mixes it up. It's, for me, quite a slow burner. It kind of started off, maybe the first season of it was okay, but then it just started getting really good and started getting really immersive. So yeah, and it's harmless fun. It's probably around about that 12 category, so I can recommend it to all our members. And it's binge worthy. You've got a full 6 seasons waiting to go for you on Amazon if you've never seen it before. If you're a fan of the Marvel films, it does tie into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The events in the films have a bearing on that TV show, basically. So yeah, that's my recommendation this week.
I'd actually watched that at the start of lockdown as well. So we got that's also on Disney Plus. So if you've got Disney Plus, you can watch it in that. So I binge watched. Put my earphones out. I binge watched that, and so did Jay. So he really liked that as well.
Good. Well, there we're on to a winning start there. And so our next section is what's in my belly. So what's in your belly this week, Dan?
What my belly this week is probably my chicken curry. That recipe that we put up on YouTube, and I was actually watching back that video the other day, and I realised there was something that I actually missed when I was putting the recipe up, and it was talking about the boiled rice. And I always remember that when we were doing some cooking in the youth complex, the wee trick you told me to make Indian boiled rice. We put in a wee bit of turmeric and a cinnamon stick into the water while you're boiling in the bag. So I did say that on the video, but I must have forgot to it. So my belly is full of my chicken curry recipe is on the YouTube channel somewhere.
You can check that recipe out on YouTube as we speak. So yeah,
very simple.
Yeah, good. And that's kind of a lot of the kind of things that I'd done in previous episodes have been quite simple and ingredients that are readily available, but I've kind of went off the radar a wee bit this time because I've not done a hell of a lot of cooking this week. So what's in my belly currently as we speak is I went to a place called Topinski's. Have you heard of it? It's quite near Castlemilk. It's down kind of Kilmarnock Road, based next to the old Cathcart Parish Church. It's kind of attached to that building. And they do like lots of these kind of different kind of burgers, milkshakes, loaded fries and stuff like that. So I got this thing, and they've got a different name for it, but I like to call it the Freak Burger.
Right.
And me and my wife shared this. It was like a chicken fillet, then a normal burger fillet, then another chicken fillet, then cheese and chili ketchup, all in this massive burger bun.
I need to try that.
And I've not eaten anything at all again today. I think that's my calorie intake for the day sorted right
for
there.
2 days.
Yeah, basically. So, but I would recommend the place. It's nearby to Castlemilk, so jump down there. They've got a really active Instagram page, so you can see all the weird and wonderful creations that they've got. So
that actually sounds really good.
Their loaded fries are great. They've got lots of different kind of options for loaded fries. So yeah, I would recommend that. It's
loaded fries are becoming massive now. Everyone's kind of doing these loaded fries.
Love it. We were on holiday last year. Me and my wife went away for a wee weekend to Berlin, and there was this place we went to, and all they did was loaded fries. They just did various different versions of loaded fries, and that was like taking loaded fries to a completely new level. I mean, they like sourced the potatoes that they were using. They made all the chips from scratch. All the fries were done from scratch. All the toppings and stuff like that. So it was on a whole new different level. So if you're ever in Berlin, check this place. I think it's called Goldie's or something like that. awesome place. But yeah, loaded fries are definitely the in thing right now. And
I tell you
why
something, but that I found out the other day actually, and it was about potatoes and why Golden Wonder were called Golden Wonder crisps, because we're made with Golden Wonder potatoes. And I didn't know that.
I don't. Well, I knew that there was a brand of potato called Golden Wonder, but I'd
Yeah.
never put the two of those things together.
I learned that all day.
This bodes well for the quiz that's coming up, Dan, because
I'm getting really nervous about the quiz, to be honest.
I know. Well, you shouldn't be too nervous. So we usually feature a wee kind of section on a bit of nice news, and I think this can be taken like two different ways depending who's taking this news. And it's the news that schools will be going back full time in August. Now, lots of parents are currently up and down my street doing cartwheels and dancing and all sorts, and lots of young people are in a deep depression about this. So that's probably been about, I mean, the school holidays has effectively been roughly about 6 months now.
For March, so it's insane.
You're talking, well, not 6 months, 4 months. So it's been a long time, and I think both parents and young people are kind of looking forward to maybe an semblance of normality, going back to school and stuff like that. You were saying, you mentioned you're kind of shopping for school uniforms and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it. Because it's been kind of crazy couple of months, and my two are actually looking forward to getting back to school. And I think it's that getting to see their friends again, and getting some sort of normality. And I think the first couple of weeks, even the first month or two, is probably going to be a bit of a struggle for kind of a lot of young people who are going to be getting back to school, and they're kind of used to the normality of being in a house, or kind of day to day, just doing the same things every day and not having that school. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be a big change for a lot of young people, but I think it's a positive thing, and it's for both parents and the children and young people.
I think I had mixed feelings about it. Certainly, I mean, I was maybe being a bit hyperbolic there by saying parents are jumping for joy. Yes, it is good to kind of do that, but mixed feelings about them going back and the kind of dangers of the intermingling with the current kind of world situation we're in. But I had to kind of check myself and say, and balance it against, well, the development of young people is being severely affected here, regardless of how much homeschooling parents are doing and stuff like that, and how much effort. It doesn't substitute the fantastic job that teachers do with kids and stuff like that. So, and other education workers, that not just teachers. So, I had to balance my kind of feelings against that and say, no, I think it is right for them to go back, and it's, you know, try and get back on track with their kind of education and development, you know. So
I think a lot of parents are probably feeling the same way. I think there's going to be a lot of anxiety. We getting back to school and kids going back, and to do with the virus itself. And I think I was kind of one of the ones at the start was really kind of scared of the virus and wondering what it was going to be. But I think now, as I've kind of get to know a wee bit about it and how long it's lasting, I think it's something that I'm not as scared of now as I used to be at the start. And I think it's going to be maybe something that we will need to kind of learn to live with. We're going to live with this as the same way as we live with the flu and the colds and other kind of viruses. I don't see it going away, so I think we learn to live with it. We take precautions, and we move on and have a normal life, or normal-ish life.
Well, that's it. And this week, so moving on, and this is the section I'm afraid you've been a wee bit nervous about, that is our quiz.
Right,
now.
okay, let's do it.
So just to give you a wee bit of history, sorry, I'm just leaning down here. So just to give you a wee bit of history, I'm the undefeated champion of the quiz. So any host, quiz guests, any guests we've had on the podcast have went up against me. So I remain undefeated. So basically, we got a championship belt. So I hope you don't mind that I'm going to be wearing my championship belt
Oh, that's just enough.
I'm going to be asking you the questions though this week, so it's a bit of a role reversal for me. I like to kind of boil things down to a lot. Like, I'm a huge professional wrestling fan. For anyone that doesn't know that, I've just put it out there. There you go. So when I'm on defending my championship against other guests, I like to kind of akin that to, say, you know, like a pay-per-view match or something like that, like when you're actually serious and defending your title. And then there's some weeks when we don't have a guest and Lee just asks me some questions and I get a reasonable score or whatever. And I like to think of that as being like the weekly TV shows where the big guy comes in with all the fireworks and stuff like that, and there's already a wee tiny guy waiting in the ring for him, and it's just really what they call an exhibition match.
Yep.
This is completely different. So the only way I could put my kind of spin on this would be when somebody comes down to join the main commentators on commentary. So I think that's what my role is this week. I'm kind of like guest commentator because I'm asking somebody else the quiz questions. They're actually doing the kind of graft this week. So
you're doing there. Well, what we'll need to do is we need to plan to get me on another show where Lee's not off, and I'll compete against you. Take that belt.
That's it.
Coming to my house.
Oh, that's fighting talk, Darren. That is fighting talk. So with that said, we'll launch into our quiz. So on the back of our news item that school's going back full time, I've put a bit of a school theme onto our quiz. So it's not it's in and around that theme, but there'll be a few questions that might take you unexpected with it. So our first question is, who performed the track School's Out for Summer?
Don't know.
You know it? Do you know the track?
School's Out for Summer.
Okay, that's the one. You know the track. Who performed it?
I don't know. I'll just say like the Rolling Stones. Go for that one.
The Rolling Stones. I'm afraid it was Alice Cooper.
Ah, well.
Do you know who Alice Cooper is?
I know Alice Cooper. Yep, heard Alice Cooper.
So we're not completely out there in the ether. It's Alice Cooper. Yep, Alice Cooper. He also did Poison, I believe.
I like Poison.
Yep. So we know who it is. It's just we couldn't put the two together. Okay, here's another one. So this is kind of from the 90s. So I'm kind of hoping that we're kind of in that age bracket that will kind of suit you. In which TV show did the main characters attend the high school Sunnydale High in California? And I can give you a clue if you're struggling.
Is that Saved by the Bell?
You're in the right era, but it's not quite the right answer, I'm afraid. So do you want another wee shot at it? So here's a clue for you. So if you had watched previous episodes, it was one of my recommendations for what's on my telly. It recently, in the last month or so, came on Channel 4, the on-demand service there, and it was... I'm going to give you another clue because I can see you're still kind of struggling.
I missed that episode.
It featured a lot of vampires.
Oh.
Sunnydale High.
Oh, is that Buffy?
Yes, that's Buffy. I'm going to give you that one anyway because we got there. We got there in the end. So
yes,
there we go. So we're up on the scoreboard.
My wife would have been raging. She's a big, massive Buffy fan, you know.
Yeah, well, there you go. So shame on you, Darren, for not getting that right away. So the next question is, which school-based TV show was broadcast on the BBC from 1978 and finally finishing in 2008? So a total of 30 years on the BBC, one of the longest running shows in the BBC, and it was kind of aimed at kids watching it as well, so it wasn't like an adult TV show, so to speak.
Yeah. Is that Grange Hill or something?
Grange Hill is the correct answer. So that's 2 we're on to. So we've got another. So I'm feeling good about this one. I'm hoping that you can get this one. So, who was the headmaster at Hogwarts?
Oh, right, so Hogwarts is thing in it. That's Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
I've not got a clue. Can I phone a friend?
I didn't think you had any friends, Dan.
Oh. Well, it's not really a friend, it's my son. It's Jay.
Your son? Well, if he's handy, I'll let you phone a friend.
Jay, come here. Who's the head teacher of Hogwarts? Dumbledore.
Phoning a friend. Has he got the correct answer? It was Professor Dumbledore. That's 3, Darren.
See, he's a Harry Potter fan. I've not watched it.
Okay, I'm feeling good about this next and final question, Darren.
You felt good about the last one.
No, I'm really feeling good about this one, though. And you may or may not know this, why I've said that. Which school-based show from the 90s featured characters Screech, Zack, and Mr. Belding?
Saved by the Bell.
Yes! That's it!
Used to love that show. That was funny as hell.
So it's when you said Saved by the Bell for the Buffy question, I was like, he's definitely going to get that last question. He's definitely. So that's 4 out of 5. That is a very respectable quiz score. So you have been the guy coming down with the fireworks against the wee skinny guy, and it's just been an annihilation of the wee guy. You've pinned him quite easily, and I'm sitting on commentary going, is that my next challenger for this belt here?
That's definitely.
I don't know. Maybe future.
I'm throwing my name in the ring for that.
Right. Well, that's noted. So if we can hook a nice time up in the future, I think that's it. And I have to say though, this guy is staying with me. I will defend this to my dying breath. To my dying breath.
That's fine.
Okay. Right.
I'll be
good.
the one to put that there.
So that was it. That was the quiz, and that was our podcast number 10 into double digits. We should mention our social medias that you can reach us again. So on Facebook, we're Kelly Youth Complex Staff. On Twitter, we're Youth Complex CYC. Instagram, youth_complex. TikTok, Kelly Youth Complex. And you can email us at cycyouthteam@gmail.com. And you can also get early episodes, audio-only episodes on themilkround.podbean.com. And as always, if you're sitting watching us on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell, and you can just be notified instantly of a new episode or any new content like Darren's chicken curry recipe. So how was that, Darren? First time co-hosting?
It was really good, actually. It was obviously you're used to watching it, so it's kind of good to be on this side of it and kind of contributing a wee bit. It's a wee bit different, bit nerve-wracking because you just make sure you want to say the right things. But no, it was good fun.
Good stuff. Well, a big thank you from me for stepping in.
Anytime.
Because I was very worried that I was going to have to do a kind of solo podcast there. So thank you very much. And
anytime.
That'll be us for this week. And we'll see you all later. Bye.
Bye, guys.